for a lot of parks. It's no longer Space Mountain. Oh boy, oh boy. What a waste of an episode. What a waste. They've opened up, trying to hype you up, all excited for it, and then after the start, when it all went down, just went down the hill. It really did. I mean, they just wasted so much time, and you didn't really learn anything about it either. You didn't get to learn, what went into making this attraction so iconic, all the mechanisms, all the elements that are so recognisable, today in its current form. Just none of that. Even the first 10 minutes, we just wasted it, talk about the history of Tomorrowland, about, the ideas behind it and all of it. It's like, we already know that! We already know about that! We already know about the history into Tomorrowland. We know the idea behind Tomorrowland. Okay? We did not need 10 minutes taken out of this episode you to read that to the viewers. You've just wasted 10 minutes there of precious airtime. Sorry. This was a 40-minute episode. 10 minutes of it was taken up with the origins of Tomorrowland. 30 minutes was taken up on Shanghai, which was completely irrelevant. So basically that's 23 minutes taken out, and only 37 minutes to talk for it. No, yeah, probably. Oh no, 27. Yeah, probably about 27 minutes to talk about the actual attraction. Time management on this series so far, we're at the halfway stage of this series. Time management so far has not been used well, because it's not been used well because we don't get to have a lot on the attraction. It's just gobbledygook, just gibberish. I don't need to learn this. Focus on what the topic is about. If the topic is on Space Mountain, then we talk about Space Mountain. Don't talk about the Shanghai stuff. Don't talk about that. It's a completely separate thing. Don't bring up Hyperspace Mountain. Talk about Space Mountain. If that is what episode 5 is called, then that is what you need to. Episode 5 needs to be the focus on. Don't deviate to things that aren't relevant. Okay, you've only got a limited amount of time, and you wasted it. You wasted this episode. You could have talked about there's so much history, to this attraction. Particularly in Paris. Paris has got his version, even had his own story. We even had Space Mountain Mission 2. We even had our own stories to it before hyperspace ruined the day. And I think a lot of people would have loved to have learned about the history of, Take It to Paris, of Mission 2. That's got a story behind it. But no, you didn't get to hear about that because unfortunately it just went and wasted the time. It was literally just dreadful. It was just so iconic because in the European Space Mountain here you had a story to it. It wasn't just another roller coaster. There was a story behind it, and that just really got you intrigued. It made you want to go on that even more. It made you really wonder and have an appreciation for it. It became so iconic. I'd have loved it to have gone into that story. You didn't go into it at all. It's like what I said on the last episode regarding Tower of Terror. Even if, you're someone like me, who probably wouldn't even dare go on it, you can't help but marvel at the infrastructure that went into it. I mean, it's Space Mountain's infrastructure. You've passed it so many times when you've been in Discovery Land, or for you Yanks, Tomorrowland. You can't but help and just marvel at its wonder. And I think always said that Paris' Space Mountain is kind of the best. And now, after watching that episode, now I know why. Because ours had a theme to it. Ours had this beauty to it. It didn't look like a theme park ride. It looked like a majestic spectacle to behold. It like a monument that could easily become an eighth wonder of the world. It was just so I call it, the detail into that, you know, the theming as well. Because the ones in America just look like a white dome, which is just not pretty to look at all. It makes me feel really out of place. Ours here in Europe, ours was just so majestic. It had a wonderful design to it. It really fit into the Discovery Land theme. Because remember, here in Europe, we don't have Tomorrowland. We have Discovery Land, which works a lot better. Because it combines the ideas of the future of Tomorrowland with the discovery of Discoveryland, and you get to have that, that the steampunk element that Cogsworth, which has worked so well for 30 years now. It's just, and it just looks so iconic. I always marvel even though I never go on it. I always marvel it because it's just so impressive, especially with the whole canon situation. Because in Paris, ours is unique. Because of course we fire you out of the catapult, out of the cannon. It's so brilliant, and you have to time it right. If you have a pass in Discoveryland, or you're just having a 5-minute sit down just to catch your breath, you might get a chance to glimpse the attraction in action. So every now and then you will get a glimpse of the ride vehicle, literally in full view. It's been stationary. You're thinking, what's going on? And then obviously, because it's waiting for the cannon to fire you up. That is just such an iconic moment. Did we go into that? Did we go into the makings of that? No. We referenced it. Did we actually go into full detail about that? Did we? No, we didn't go into that. It's just such an iconic piece of attraction. And ours was so unique. And particularly how we had the audio incorporated as well. That was so brilliant, which of course then got replicated in California. Although there was a lot of replication here, because for California, Hong Kong and Tokyo, they all had theirs as a carbon copy of the original in Florida. Which is something I never knew the original was Florida. I always assumed it was just the California got the original, and obviously then it would go to, the others, left, right, and centre. Of course, that did not be the case. So yeah, so interesting to hear it was Florida that had the original, and then you just replicated all the different parks, except for Shanghai. Oh yeah, that's right. That is right. Yeah, you heard me right there. You heard me right. Shanghai is the only one of the 6 resorts that does not have Space Mountain in their resort. Because what Shanghai got instead, and this sadly did get referenced in the episode, Shanghai got its own unique ride themed on the film Tron. It's called Tron Light Cycle Power Run. I'm not going to go into it. Yeah, but that's what they've got instead of having a Space Mountain. And unfortunately, we spent the last sort of 30 minutes on it. I was like, I don't want to know about this. That's not Space Mountain. That may have happened. Yeah, you might have thinking, well, okay, Shanghai is already a futuristic city. It's got those already and all that. And you want to do something different. That's fine. But I don't need to know that. And also, again, we covered this on the Imagineering Story. We covered this. In episode 6 of the Imagineering Story, we covered this. Because in episode 6 of the Imagineering Story, it focuses on Shanghai. Where it mentions the tram ride. So you don't need to bring that up. It's already done in a Disney Plus show. It's not relevant because it's not Space Mountain. It's got nothing to do with Space Mountain. Nothing to do whatsoever. We don't need to hear about it. We don't need to hear about it. We don't want to know. It's nothing to do with Space Mountain. Don't bring it up. And you wasted a lot. I had to spend the last 30 minutes off. I don't want to know about it. It's not part of Space Mountain. It's not limited to Space Mountain. If it ain't Space Mountain, don't want to hear about it. Did not want to hear about it. Okay, I did not want to hear about it at all. While we're on that subject, I was praying throughout the episode, oh, please don't bring up hyperspace. Please don't bring up hyperspace. And sadly, they brought up hyperspace. And I was like, no! I literally went this in my chair. Just like, why? Why? We don't want to know about it. Oh, don't want to know. We don't want to know. I blame the Wookiees or the Jedi or whatever you Star Wars fans call yourselves. I pin this blame on you lot, which is so impatient. You're like the Marvel fans. You're so impatient. You can't wait to have your own theme land. You have to go and try and take what's already there and retheme it, think it will work. It does not work! It does not work. It's like with what happened with DCA's Tower of Terror. You themed it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Doesn't work. It now loses everything that made what Tower of Terror was. Gone in a flash. And I feel with Hyperspace Mountain, it's worse. Because now it just feels like it's just like a generic space rocket ride. You just literally go through the space to all these weird and flashy blaggy lights. You can do that in any theme park. You can do that in any park in the world. You know, maybe even here in Alton Towers or something. You can do that in any park. Space Mountain was so unique. It had so much history. It had so much iconicness. It was such an iconic attraction. It even, and obviously Paris, it even had a story. You did not need to just wipe all that away to please the masses. Just for the sake of it. I mean, and plus, particularly with our Space Mountain, because like I said, if you look at the infrastructure of our Space Mountain, it's so gorgeous, it's so beautiful. It does not work putting in Star Wars to it. And you can tell it doesn't work because of the sign. It just does not work. I don't know how it is in the American parks, but here in Europe, here in Paris, it doesn't work. Because obviously you've got the Space Mountain's infrastructure is designed to a steampunk theme, and yet the sign you see it's got the High Space Mountain sign, which looks all futuristic and spacey. That just does not fit. That does not fit. It's at all. It just does not fit. Obviously on the inside they try to make it fit, but it just feels completely out of place. It's just not. It just doesn't work. And I really do hold out hope that one day they will go, right, yeah, let's turn it back. Let's turn it back. You know, because a lot of people. I remember for Paris. I remember when they announced it. I remember there was a lot of angry people about this. A lot of people were very angry. I'm not sure if the anger's died down after what's been roughly 5 years now of hyperspace in Paris. But I remember the time it was being announced, a lot of people were very, very angry about it. We had a large contingency of Space Mountain fans in Paris, and they were not happy at the idea of it being turned into Hyperspace Mountain. I'm not sure if the backlash has died down now after what's been roughly 5 years, but at the time it was just no good. And I was like on them. I was like, yeah, it's like, yes, this is not right. This is not right. Even though I'd never been on it, I could see where they were coming from because I can tell and I understand how iconic this attraction has become over the many years. It's become such an iconic attraction. And if you were to do like the slightest change, you're going to get a backlash. And unfortunately, Imagineers just went ahead with it, as they've done with a lot of things over the years. So, basically with this episode, it just felt like you were having a history lesson. But what were we really being given a history lesson on? She didn't go into detail about the mechanism. You didn't give us all the detail about what went into making this attraction. You know, all the different ideas behind it, how, you know, the inspiration, and obviously for Paris, the cannon, which of course is such an iconic moment. You would it's just so iconic. It's just like it's what's helped make our Space Mountain so iconic. We didn't even go into any detail on that. Or the story. I would have loved it. It could have just spent a couple of minutes going through Paris's in detail, and we could have talked more about that story, particularly with Space Mountain Mission 2, because there was a real story to Paris's. There was a real story behind it. Unfortunately, I can't talk through it now because it would take too long. But go look it up online for yourselves, and you will see that there's a real story to what was Paris's Space Mountain. It wasn't just another carbon copy like California, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. Ours had an actual story to it, and it was just made it so unique, so iconic. So yeah. So overall, this was a waste of an episode. You had 40 minutes for this episode. You could have spent those 40 minutes talking us through everything that made Space Mountain so iconic, and you chose to waste it. You chose to waste it by going through things we already knew, like the history of Tomorrowland, and you definitely wasted it by talking about an attraction that's completely irrelevant to the topic of this episode. We did not need to know about that with Shanghai. That's completely different. It's not even the same attraction. It's completely different. We did not need that. So for me, at this halfway stage of Behind the Attraction, it's so far been a bit of an epic fail, and we'll have to see if it can pick up in the second half. Right, I think that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've liked this video, then don't forget to click the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed yet, come and you click that subscribe button. Then once you are subscribed, you won't miss a single moment when you contact the Ambassador plus the mouse. Until next time, all that me says, au revoir.